Craig, it was a solid second half to the season under Bruce Boudreau for the Vancouver Canucks. They returned largely the same group as last year, but the one big question is, are the forwards and goaltending good enough to make up for a questionable defense?
Well, what I would say when Bruce Boudreau took over this team, it was floundering. It was floundering offensively, and it was still floundering very much defensively. Bruce recognized what the strength of this team was. A great goaltender and great offense. And he unleashed that offense knowing that he had a nice safety net in Thatcher Demko. So to me, Mike, you've answered your own question. Really what I would say to you is, there it is. Bruce, there it is.
Yeah, Bruce saw it and said, listen, we're going to run and gun, we're going to have some fun, and we're going to let our players play. And that is the brilliance of Bruce Boudreau. Look up the all-time winningest coaching records in the regular season. In the history of the NHL, he is right up there with the greatest coaches ever. And so he finds ways for his teams to win. He sees his forward group, he sees that goal and says, okay, listen, we can't put the shackles on these guys anymore. We're going to ask Demko to do a lot. Now, Thatcher Demko can do a lot and carry that load, and he'll have to once again. And we have 7, 8, 9, maybe more forwards who can really go and create offense. And under Bruce Boudreau, you saw JT Miller have his best year and Bo Horvat be great. Elias Pettersson returning to the potentially star player that we think he can be, but was not the first half of the year. If all those pieces keep playing at that level, they'll give themselves a chance because they do score a ton of goals and they do have a great goalie.
57 games under Bruce Boudreau. And when he took over, there was not a lot of hope or optimism about the Vancouver Canucks' success. In those 57 games, 32, 15, and 10. That translates between 106, 107 points. More than enough to make the playoffs. And he took this team and he instilled a belief that this is the way we need to play to have success. I don't think Bruce is not understanding that they have some holes on the blue line, nor Patrick Allvin or Jim Rutherford in the management group. They know where their holes are, but they also know what their strength is. And when they played to their strength, they were a very good team. They might have just run out of a little bit of runway en route to trying to make the playoffs. But I would suggest that if they follow the way Bruce wants to play and they play to their strengths, goaltending and that forward group, that prolific offense, let's not forget about Quinn Hughes. This is a team that I think can have a success as currently constructed, despite all of us knowing there is a flaw and a weakness on the blue line.
But coaches don't like to do that, Craig. They don't like to turn it over to offense because it's a little bit less controllable than defense, and I think that's what Bruce Boudreau is going to have to do. And the organization knows this. As you mentioned, they explored trade options. They tried to reallocate salaries, maybe away from the forwards and more to the defense. They were not successful yet. They're experimenting with Quinn Hughes playing on the offside, maybe because they're desperate for right side defensemen. They know it's an issue. They'll do everything they can to mitigate it. If they can somehow shore up that defense, not to make it great, but just to make it average to go along the other two strengths of this team in goal and up front, then they'll have a really good chance of making the playoffs once again.